PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rakelli. And on this edition of Vegas Hockey Hub, we are going to be discussing and breaking down who is the regular season MVP for your Vegas Golden Knights. And we're going to be doing that here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. We have about a dozen shows on the network, so go to the website, PRConnectionsRadio.com, or go to the YouTube channel and subscribe at PR Connections. So, pretty good network here on PR Connections Radio. And if you want to subscribe to at Vegas Hockey Hub, we are on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are everywhere at Vegas Hockey Hub. And you want to follow your host at Ian J. Rakelli on all major platforms. And I do want to mention very quickly that we do have a sponsor with PR Connections Radio. So I just want to quickly mention paidperletter.com. So go to paidperletter.com and use the _ Uncle Dan. And it's a very good service. Paidperletter.com. I highly recommend everyone checking that out at paidperletter.com/Uncle Dan. So getting into the conversation for tonight's episode of Vegas Hockey Hub, who is the Vegas Golden Knights MVP? Who is the most valuable player for your Vegas Golden Knights? This is the second year that we are doing this. The second edition of this episode. To give you some context, last year for 2022, 2023, we came to the conclusion that the MVP for the Vegas Golden Knights last year was Mark Stone. Because when Mark Stone was on the ice, he was the most important player on the ice. He was the most impactful player on the Vegas Golden Knights roster. When he was on the organization, he was the most impactful. The follow-up was Chandler Stevenson. So when it came to the Golden Knights MVP from this past season, it was Mark Stone and or Chandler Stevenson as the MVP for your Vegas Golden Knights. But who is your Vegas Golden Knights MVP for this? Who is the Vegas Golden Knights MVP for this season, you might ask? Who is going to be the team, or who's going to be the player, nonetheless, that you would say is the most valuable player on your Vegas Golden Knights for 2023-2024? Well, there are four choices here. Okay, there's option A, option B, option C, and option D when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights and their regular season MVP. So we're going to get into the choice A for Golden Knights MVP. This guy is a fan favorite. He is someone who is beloved by your Vegas Golden Knights. And more importantly, he is someone who does make a lot of solid arguments for being your MVP of the regular season for your Vegas Golden Knights. And that is number 81, Jonathan Marchessault. Now, here's a few positives for Jonathan Marchessault being the regular season MVP. The first one is that he has played every single game this year for your Vegas Golden Knights. He has not been injured. He has not been on the shelf. He has not missed time for your Vegas Golden Knights. Jonathan Marchessault has been one of the most reliable and dependable players the Vegas Golden Knights have had for 2023-2024. The second reason that Jonathan Marchessault could be the MVP of the regular season for your Vegas Golden Knights is he is a 40-goal scorer. Jonathan Marchessault has done what only two people have accomplished as a Vegas Golden Knight, and that has reached the 40-goal mark and while wearing the VGK. Now, in 2017-2018, William Karlsson had 43 goals for your Vegas Golden Knights. He still holds the franchise record for most goals in a single season. Jonathan Marchessault, he is on the trajectory. He is currently at the moment projected to surpass William Karlsson and hold the record for the single season franchise record for goals scored. And that is a very compelling argument. And I understand why some people would say that because he has scored 40 goals this year, because he has suited up in every single game for Vegas, oh, who else could it be? You know, who else could be the MVP for your Vegas Golden Knights? He scored the most goals out of anybody on the Vegas Golden Knights roster. How else could he be the MVP? Who else could it be? Well, I also have to mention that there is one aspect of Jonathan Marchessault's game that does count as a negative, and that is his lack of assists. When it comes to Jonathan Marchessault, when you actually study what he has done, he has 23 assists on the year. And 23 assists does not sound that bad when you look at it from a broad stroke. But when you understand that Mark Stone, Jack Eichel, Shea Theodore, they have all hit the 30 assist mark for your Vegas Golden Knights, and Jonathan Marchessault only at 23, that could go down just a little bit. Plus minus, Jonathan Marchessault +2 on the season. When you have a guy like Brayden McNabb at +16, Ivan Barbashev at +16, that is a bit of a downer as well. But more importantly, when it comes to Jonathan Marchessault, he has been in the penalty box a good amount this year. Jonathan Marchessault is almost at 40 penalty minutes on the season for your Vegas Golden Knights. So when you're just studying the stats and just analyzing Jonathan Marchessault, he has played every single game this year. He has a 40-goal score, and he has gotten to 60 points on the season for your Vegas Golden Knights, with a plus-minus of +2 and near 40 penalty minutes for your Vegas Golden Knights. I do have to give a lot of credit. He is second on the Vegas Golden Knights roster in power play goals, as he has 7. And when it comes to shorthanded goals, he actually only has 0 for the Vegas Golden Knights, as there's 3 other people who actually have more shorthanded goals on that situation. The other category that your Vegas Golden Knights and Jonathan Marchessault does hold on the 2023-2024 season is the shots. Oh my, Jonathan Marchessault has shot a lot for the Vegas Golden Knights, as he has 246 shots on net for the Vegas Golden Knights. And when it comes to qualified players on terms of shooting percentage, Jonathan Marchessault is second on the roster in shooting percentage. So Jonathan Marchessault has a really good argument for being your regular season MVP. Jonathan Marchessault has an argument that he could be the most valuable player for your Vegas Golden Knights. But there's also somebody else who has an argument. Someone who is a top 10 player in the NHL. Someone who is an all-star for the Vegas Golden Knights. And this is somebody who you could really make an argument that when he is not in the lineup, he is the most impactful player on the ice. You could make an argument that when this guy is not skating up, when he is not putting on his skates and suiting up for the Vegas Golden Knights, they look empty. Their energy is very void. It does not look like a coherent team at times. And the player that I'm talking about, and choice B for MVP for your Vegas Golden Knights, is number 9, Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel, yes, he missed about 20 games this season after suffering an injury in the beginning of January. He missed a certain amount of time to kind of rehab and get back and be cleared from that injury. But when it comes to Jonathan Marchessault, here is a statistic that really could make him the regular season MVP for the Vegas Golden Knights. Did you know that there is only one player on the Vegas Golden Knights roster that's averaging a point per game. Can you guess who that player is? Can you guess who is the only player on the Vegas Golden Knights organization who is averaging a point or more per game? As Jack Eichel in 55 games this season has 57 points. Jack Eichel is the only one on the roster to do it. Mark Stone is getting a bit close. Shea Theodore is a bit close. But overall, they're just a little bit under a point per game. Jack Eichel is exactly over a point per game. Like I said, 57 points in 55 games. There's also the same Jack Eichel who has the second most goals in the organization with 25 goals in 55 games. Incredible job by Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel is an elite goal scorer. We already knew that. But something that doesn't get appreciated enough is his assists, him passing the puck around, as Jack Eichel is second in the team in assists. So overall, second in goals, second in assists. He is over a point per game, and he is second in the organization in points this year. So if you really want to study and analyze this, Jack Eichel is among the top of the list in almost every single category that matters for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's an elite goal scorer. He passes the puck. He's solid when it comes to getting points. And more importantly, when it comes to Jack Eichel, his impact off the ice and what the energy and the lack of the cohesion of the organization when he is not on the ice was shown throughout January and early February. When the Vegas Golden Knights were struggling to win games early on in 2024, that's because Jack Eichel was missing in that lineup. You had a big piece that was gone. You also realize that Jack Eichel, ever since he came back, and he's now the number one center once again, alongside Jonathan Marchessault, alongside Ivan Barbashev, Jack Eichel has become the must-see, the must-watch, somebody who the Vegas Golden Knights can count on every single game. He's the one who puts the puck on his stick. That is what he is doing. Now, to get into the plus-minus of it, he is +5, so it's a little bit better than Jonathan Marchessault. And then his penalty minutes, only 25 on the year. So he pretty much has the same amount of goals this year as he does penalty minutes with Jack Eichel. Now, where Jack Eichel does excel as well is that he leads the organization in power play goals. He has 8 on the season. Jonathan Marchessault, like I mentioned earlier, is second on that list in 7. In terms of power play points, Jack Eichel has 16 power play points on the season. He is first, and he leads everybody in the organization. Mark Stone is second on that list, by the way, with 14 points on the power play for the Vegas Golden Knights. And one characteristic in one category that I do have to mention for Jack Eichel that is very important, by the way. I mentioned that Jonathan Marchessault is first in overall shots. He has had 246 shots. Jack Eichel is second on that list. Jack Eichel, in about 20 games less, has 5 less shots than Jonathan Marchessault. But he's a sniper. He is someone who's supposed to get to the puck and shoot it down the ice. That's what he does. So that's choice B. Okay, choice A was Jonathan Marchessault, number 81, the guy who leads the team in points, leads the team in goals. Choice B is the guy who is second in a lot of categories on the Vegas Golden Knights, and that is Jack Eichel. But then you have option C. And if you're a defensive-minded person, you probably know where I'm going with this. If you're someone who likes defense, if you're someone like your host Ian Rakelli who values and appreciates the defense, then option C and choice C can be Brayden McNabb. Nabber has been the best defenseman on the Vegas Golden Knights this season. I know some people are going to try to say Shea Theodore. Some people are going to try to say Alex Pietrangelo should be up there. But when you look at his production, when you study what he has done on the defense for the Vegas Golden Knights, Shea Theodore and Alex Pietrangelo don't have as much of a production as Brayden McNabb does. Brayden McNabb is the only defenseman from this year who has not missed a game. He hasn't been out with an illness. He hasn't been sick. He hasn't gotten hurt. He hasn't gotten suspended. Brayden McNabb has played every single game on the blue line for the Vegas Golden Knights. And that's a valuable statistic. It is a valuable trait to play every single game, especially in a tough position like the defense. All right, when you're a defenseman and you suit up every single game, despite all the block shots, despite all the physicality and the toughness that you have every single night, Brayden McNabb is on the ice every single game, and that's what he does. He only has 3 goals on the year, but you know what? Brayden McNabb is not meant to be a goal scorer. All right, he is a defenseman. He's supposed to lay back and help out the goaltender. He's not meant to shoot it and score a bunch of goals. 20 assists on the year. Solid job by Brayden McNabb. You know, this season, he's been able to get the puck to the right person, get the right read, be able to get the right person on a redirect. That's what Brayden McNabb does really well for Vegas. He is someone who's not selfish with the puck. He is someone who knows how to get the puck to the right person. But here's a statistic that really matters for Brayden McNabb. Brayden McNabb leads the entire Vegas Golden Knights, that's forwards and defensemen, in plus minus. Brayden McNabb has a plus 16 for your Vegas Golden Knights. Brayden McNabb, so far, the second defenseman on that list is Caden Korczak with a plus 12. The second, when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights, is Ivan Barbashev, and he's just barely below him. He's about 1 number off from Brayden McNabb. And then when it comes to penalty minutes, when it comes for sticking up with your boys, when it comes to being able to fight when necessary, Brayden McNabb, 35 penalty minutes on the season for Brayden McNabb. And then time on ice, Brayden McNabb over 19 minutes per game on the defense for Brayden McNabb. And once again, he doesn't do that many shots, only 78 on the organization. But there is one statistic I do want to mention before I get to my choice. Before we get to who I say the MVP of the Vegas Golden Knights is, I'm going to give you 2 honorable mentions. Okay? Here are 2 players who, if you want to make an argument and you want to say that they have a possibility of being the MVP for the Vegas Golden Knights, I will not stop you. I will not say that you are wrong. Because, you know what? You do make a solid argument that they could be the MVP in the playoffs for your Vegas Golden Knights. And that first person that I am talking about is on the defensive side, and that is someone that I do want to point out has a legit argument for being a MVP, and that is Alex Pietrangelo. Alex Pietrangelo, he did miss a few games this year, and he did have an illness, which was very unfortunate. But this season, 4 goals, 28 assists, a 24 penalty minutes, but he leads the entire Vegas Golden Knights organization in time on ice. And Alex Pietrangelo, being a top-line defenseman, being a first defensive pairing out there with Noah Hanifin, with Nick Hague, with Alec Martinez, he has been able to move around and really be able to really be successful at using different line mates with Alex Pietrangelo, and I think a lot of people can respect that. And then the second honorable mention, he missed a lot of games this year, and that is the captain of your Vegas Golden Knights, and that is Mark Stone. Mark Stone, 16 goals, 53 points in 56 games. He only has a plus minus of +1. But for Mark Stone this season, he is a captain for a reason. The energy in the locker room, the way he presents himself, the way when he is skating on the ice, and the attention that he gets from the opposing defense. Mark Stone is a game changer. Mark Stone is a leader for Vegas. And more importantly, Mark Stone is someone who has cemented himself as a Golden Knight. This is someone who has really made a name as being a Vegas Golden Knight, as someone who the Vegas Golden Knights fan base can watch and be in shock and awe at some of the stuff he does. Not only is he one of the best two-way forwards in all of hockey, not only is he a defensive-minded forward, one of the best in hockey, but when it comes to Mark Stone, you could see that his second line with Chandler Stevenson, he had it with Paul Cotter, he's done it with Pavel Dorofeev, he's done it with Brett Howden. There's been so many different line combinations that have involved Mark Stone. And actually, if you're a young guy and you get put on the same line with Mark Stone, it makes you better as a young player. Because Mark Stone makes you better. He elevates your game when he is the captain of the Vegas Golden Knights. So those are my two honorable mentions, Alex Pietrangelo and Mark Stone. But my choice for MVP, the player that I have as your 2023-2024 regular season MVP is Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson, the goaltender for the Vegas Golden Knights, in terms of impact, in terms of helping the Vegas Golden Knights win, and more importantly, when it comes to making this team better, Logan Thompson has been it. Now, there was a lot of speculation. There was a lot of doubt when it came to him being the backup goalie to Adin Hill to start the year. Even though he was an all-star a year prior, even though he was a staple of that first half of 2022 and was one of the main reasons they were winning those games in the first half of 2022, there was some doubt about what Logan Thompson would do now that Adin Hill got signed. There would be doubt about what LT could do considering the fantastic playoff that Adin Hill had. And don't get me wrong, the first 20 games of the year, Adin Hill was a Vezina Trophy finalist. Adin Hill was leading in goals against average. He had one of the best save percentages in the NHL. But that was the first month and a half. When Adin Hill got hurt against Vancouver, when Adin Hill went down with that injury, Logan Thompson took over. And not only did Logan Thompson take over, he became the workhorse in net. Logan Thompson became a guy who, it didn't matter if he was playing hurt. He most definitely was. He was playing in pain in some of those games. You could tell. The Boston game where he had a puck go off his mask, and you could see him kind of stumbling around a little bit, getting his bearings back. Logan Thompson was playing 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row. There was a stretch where he was playing 7 out of 8 games. Logan Thompson was doing that because he had to. Logan Thompson had only Isaiah Seville as a backup behind him. And no offense to Isaiah Seville, but he is not ready yet to be an NHL goalie at this point. When it came to Yuri Patara, he is a good third goaltender, but they couldn't have him out there for too long. That's why he had an occasional start in the middle of December and January. But Logan Thompson has become the mainstay. He has become the best goalie that the Vegas Golden Knights have had this season. Adin Hill has done a solid job, but Logan Thompson has been able to hold the fort down when it matters. I mean, look at what happened with Adin Hill. When Adin Hill got hurt in the beginning of the season, when he got hurt in November, Logan Thompson started 8 out of 9 games in the month of December. Then he had a little bit of a break, and then he would start, and I'm not making this up, by the way. You can actually go and fact check this. Logan Thompson started 12 out of 13 games in between the end of December and towards the end of January. Outside of that one-off where Yuri Patara was in net against San Jose, Logan Thompson was in net the entire time. Every single game, he was suiting up and being the workhorse for the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's also not forget that Logan Thompson, ever since Adin Hill got hurt once again, he has taken over. Ever since Adin Hill went down with that injury, he has been in net, and he has been a guy that the Vegas Golden Knights can count on. There's a reason why Logan Thompson has won 5 games in a row. Logan Thompson's last 5 starts, he has only let up 5 goals in those 5 games. Anyone who could do simple mathematics real quick, that is a goal per game that he is letting up. Logan Thompson has been a dynamite. He has been someone who the Vegas Golden Knights can count on in net when Adin Hill's not there. And the reason why I'm picking Logan Thompson as the MVP for your Vegas Golden Knights is because Logan Thompson steps up. Logan Thompson was here when the Vegas Golden Knights needed him. When Adin Hill went down, when he was not going to be playing for X amount of time, Logan Thompson went in the net, he suited up, and he was the game changer. He was the money maker. He was the guy that was going to the pay window and cashing that check and getting W's for your Vegas Golden Knights. So, my argument to you is that when it comes to the Golden Knights MVP, Jonathan Marchessault, if you like goal scoring, if you are a fan favorite type of guy, if you're a fan favorite type of girl, I get it. You like Jonathan Marchessault. If you're someone who likes a superstar, if you're someone who likes a player who has averaged a point per game, go with Jack Eichel. That's fine with you. And if you're a little bit more sophisticated, if you like some more defense in your hockey, then Brayden McNabb does make sense. Fine. But my choice for MVP, the person that I have selected as the MVP for your Vegas Golden Knights for this season is Logan Thompson, because he has stepped up when it matters. Logan Thompson has executed when it matters, and the statistics back it up. Logan Thompson this year in 39 games has 22 wins, 12 regular season losses, and 5 overtime losses. This is also the same Logan Thompson has a goals against average of 2.6. Incredible. And a save percentage of over 91%. A save percentage of 91.1. This is a guy in Logan Thompson who has started majority of the season. When you consider that Adin Hill went 18, 10, and 2, Logan Thompson has gone 22, 12, and 5. So Logan Thompson has been the game changer. He has been someone who your Vegas Golden Knights could count on. And make no mistake about it, when it comes to the playoffs, Bruce Cassidy is going to have a tough decision to make. Does he go with Adin Hill, the guy who had a strong start to begin the year, or does he go with the hot glove? Does he go with the steady workhorse? Does he go with the rock that has been in net for the last 2-3 months? And that's Logan Thompson. Does he go with someone who helped them win a Stanley Cup last year in Adin Hill? Or do they go with someone who was an all-star and someone who has been holding down the fort for majority of the year? And that's Logan Thompson. So, tough decision by Bruce Cassidy. It's a decision I definitely cannot make, and I would not want to make for the Vegas Golden Knights. So, this is an edition of Vegas Hockey Hub. I'm your host, Ian Rickelli. And until next time, continue watching hockey, go support junior hockey, and go Knights go.
PR Connections Radio presents